Can you hear my voice? Please confirm me.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And where those people they left? They haven't joined to this point. So we're going to start after 1 minute. We'll wait for them. Please update them to join again.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Is it visible on your screen? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in order to ensure randomization, in order to give an equal chance to each and everyone, you have three options. One is the conventional lottery draw, fishbowl. You just either you will going to label each and every subject or write down the name of each and every subject that is included in the population. Just first you need to have the IDs of each and every subject in the population, put them in a bowl, fish bowl, and then you can just draw the sample. You can just randomly select any one of them and then you can draw it out. In order to do this, it's a compulsion for you that you need to have information regarding each and everyone before starting the research. First, you will going to label each and every one of them, and then write down the name on any paper or anything, and then just put it. There's this search. If you have any question, just please feel free and ask. Otherwise, please mute your mic. Thank you. Thank you very much. So write down the name and everyone on any sheet or anything else, just on a paper, and then just what you need to do now is that just randomly select any of those paper and move it out. But in order to conduct this, you need to have information regarding each and everyone before even starting the sampling, because you have to put them and then ensure randomization. So that kind of randomization has two procedures. First is the sampling without replacement, and other one is the sampling with replacement. So sampling without replacement and sampling with replacement. And I will going to give you an example. For example, if let's suppose if I have 50 people in a class, so I will going to write down the name of everyone on a slip, and then on a paper, and I will going to put them in a bowl. So now I will ask you a very simple question, and I will going to just ensure the randomization. I will going to switch them their position and just do all that randomization, and then I will going to select one. So I will ask you, what's the probability of a case to be selected?
1/15.
1/50. That's perfect. So for example, if let's suppose roll number, it can be anything, roll number 45 got selected. So now how many I am left with? I just removed one because I selected one and I removed that out of it. And that card was labeled as 45. So I removed that card. So now I'm left with how many cards?
49.
49. And what's the probability now for a subject to be selected? It will be 1 divided by 49. Do you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And if the second person got selected and I just move the card of that second person, let's suppose his roll number is 39. In that case, how many cards I am left with now in the bowl? 48.
48.
And 48. And what's the probability now for a card to be selected?
1/48.
48. And in this way, it will keep on as it is with 47. It will be 1/47. So now you can see that now what has happened, that the probability of card to be selected has increased. Do you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Previously, it was 1/50. After one card, it became 1/49. After second card, it became 1/48. After fourth card, it becomes 1/47. Let's suppose I'm interested to take a sample of 30. In that case, once 29 will be excluded, in that case, the last one will have a probability 1 divided by 21. Do you agree with that? Because the 29 cards have already been removed. If my sample size is 30,
yes, sir.
and
the last one has highest probability.
That will have the highest probability. That means the probability change with every subject.
Yes.
So, and the probability will keep on increasing once we're changing the subject. So that is named as the sampling without replacement. You ensure the randomization. You ensure the randomization, but still, when you will going to just remove those cards, by the removal of those cards, the probability was keep on increasing for next candidates. And that is also against the law of randomization, because my first card had a probability 1/50 to be selected. So that chance was 1/50. And my last card had a chance of 1/21. So what's the solution to this? So people, they come up with a solution that is known as the sampling with replacement. In order to maintain the same probability, give an absolutely equal chance to be selected, that we name it as the sampling with replacements. How we work with sampling with replacement is that there are two ways to use. For example, if this is the fish bowl and then you added all those 50 cards of 50 students, and then if you select the first card randomly, its probability will be 1/58 and a card will be removed. So sampling with replacement, you can do a couple of things. Either you once again you write down the name of that, for example, if it is roll number 45, so that is the ID of that person. You once again put the card back in the bowl and then carry out the randomizing. That just fold them here and there and then move them here and there and then select a paper again. In that case, if you once again put the same card back, what will going to happen, that now the probability will not going to change, it will remain 1/50. And if the same card once again got selected, you just need to repeat the experiment and exclude that observation. So in large population, it's very, very rare that the same card is being selected again. It's very, very rare. But even if the same card got selected, what will going to happen, that you just need to ignore it and once again put it back and then try another one. In this way, you just maintain the same probability for every case and you just give an equal chance. So that's why we carry out sampling with replacement. Another way to do it, that you replace it with a blank card. In this way, the total number of cards will remain same. They will 50, and if blank card will appear in the result, you just need to put it back and then start just randomization again, and then you will going to select another one. In this way, you can select it. So either you replace it with a blank card, yeah, or throw it back. So in that case, you can carry out. And in this case, even when that sample will be your 30th sample, even in that will have the same probability, that is 1 over 50. Is it clear?
सर मेरा यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन है
Yes.
सर, जब हम उसी कार्ड को अगेन यूज करेंगे तो उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी इंक्रीज नहीं हो जाएगी, क्योंकि वो पहले भी एक दफा हमारे पास आ चुका है ना।
How it will be increased? There are 50 cards and you just आप उनको इलाज उला के बराबर मिक्स कर देते हैं और फिर उसमें कैसे किसी की इंक्रीज हुई?
सर जब आप किसी एक को उठा लेते हैं तो बाकी 49 रह गए, तो हम उसकी जगह दोबारा अगेन उसी को यूज करते हैं। तो अगर दोबारा वो हम करते हैं, जब उसको उठाते हैं वहाँ से कार्ड, तो एक दफा फिर वो आ जाए हमारे पास वही कार्ड, तो ये
वो अगर आ
ज्यादा नहीं
जाएगा,
जाएगा?
in that case we will not going to consider that again because that is already included. You cannot take a
Okay, sir.
double sample from a single sample. That was included only for the purpose to maintain the equal probability for everyone. That's why I used another thing, that instead of that card, you can use a blank card that has no label on it. If a blank card got selected, you just need to put it again and then repeat the procedure again. It's very much easy. Is it clear?
सर अगर हम उसी कार्ड ब्लैंक कार्ड को भी अगर यूज करेंगे तो इसका मतलब है हमारे पास प्रोबेबिलिटी तो फिर वो ज्यादा हो जाएगी ना, क्योंकि अगर ब्लैंक कार्ड आएगा तो हम उसको उठाएंगे नहीं, दोबारा अगेन करेंगे इसको।
Yes, when you will going to again do it again, but how many cards you will have in the
इसका मतलब है अगर वो ब्लैंक कार्ड अगर बार बार आता रहेगा तो जो बाकी है उसके पास तो ज्यादा प्रोबेबिलिटी है, क्योंकि अगर ब्लैंक कार्ड आएगा तो हम उसको कंसीडर ही नहीं करेंगे।
If we will have the blank card, we will not going to consider it and we will going to put it back. When we will going to put it back, what will going to happen? That once again you will have the 50 cards. Is it okay?
तो सर शायद आप मेरी बात नहीं सुन रहे, समझ रहे शायद। सर मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि जब हम ब्लैंक कार्ड यूज़ कर रहे हैं, फर्ज कर रहे हैं हमने 5 सैंपल लिए, तो इसका मतलब है हमारे पास 5 ब्लैंक कार्ड होंगे। तो जब हम इसके बाद कोई सैंपल लेना चाहेंगे वहाँ से, तो उनके पास 1/45 प्रोबेबिलिटी है, क्योंकि अगर ब्लैंक आएगा तो हम उसको उठाएंगे ही नहीं ना, उसको कंसीडर नहीं करेंगे।
देखे, अगर if the blank will come, हम उसको बिल्कुल कंसीडर नहीं करेंगे। That's true. अगर ब्लैंक आएगा तो हम उसे कंसीडर नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन जब भी वहां से कोई कार्ड उठाया जाएगा ब्लैंक के अलावा आएगा, वो जब आएगा तो उस वक्त उसकी प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी होती है? 50 कार्ड्स थे, उसमें से
1/50
1/50 blank आएगा तो that will be just a repetition for us. We will going to replicate over. We have to do it again. There is no other choice. But at any time, when a card will be selected, it will have the same probability, that will be 1/50. There were 50 cards in the deck, and from those 50 cards, a random card got selected. So that card is only one in the entire bowl. So it will be 1/50. Just feel comfortable. You have an equal chance. A problem is that although the probability of blank card is more, there are 5 blank cards in that. Let's suppose if you have have already taken 5. So that's why I use another thing, that you can use the number 45. But even although the probability of blank card will be more, you have 5 blank cards. But still, as the blank card will going to come out, we will not going to consider it. We will simply repeat the experiment. So as we are not counting the blank card, so blank card probability, even if got changed, still it will not going to make any difference. But at any time when a card will be selected, it will be selected from 50 cards. Are you satisfied with my explanation? Just feel comfortable.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Just think again.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. If you still have any question, just feel comfortable and ask. So let me switch to previous one. So is where we were. So the classical way to do it is to do it through fishbowl, lottery draw. Secondly, we have the computer programs that facilitate us to select a random sample. We enter the data of each and every subject, and from that subject we direct those computer programs that just even you can do it on Microsoft Excel as well, that it can generate random numbers for you. And those random numbers, they are being randomly selected. That means each and every number was given an equal chance, and from that they were being set. And thirdly, you have a random number table that you can use. So let me give you an example of how the computer programs work. I will now switch to a Microsoft Excel file, and then I will going to show you how it works. Can you see a Microsoft Excel file uploaded on your screen? Please confirm me so that I can continue.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible to everyone? Everyone else, anyone who cannot see the Microsoft Excel file on his or her screen? Is it visible to everyone? I think it's visible to everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Let me move my pencil to one side so that I could work with. So this is Microsoft Excel, and if you go to the data, so this is Microsoft Excel Windows. In front of you here you have file option, and then if you go back, then you have home option, insert option, draw option, page layout option, formula option, and then you have a data option. If you click on the data, here on the right top, here you have an option of data analysis. Once you are going to click on the data analysis, here you have so many different kinds of statistical tests available for you. You can perform single factor ANOVA, you can perform two factor ANOVA, you can perform correlation, descriptive statistics. If you keep on moving here, there is an option that is titled as random number generation. Is it visible to you? Are you do you want me to magnify it?
Yes, sir. Magnify करते हैं.
Hopefully it will work now. No, still it will remain as it is. I cannot increase the size of this. So if you look here, if you move down, there is an option that is titled as random number generation. Is it visible to you? That is being highlighted in green.
No, sir.
Gentlemen, is it visible to you?
No, sir.
There is, on the center, there is a, that's been shared. And why that window does not appear on screen?
सर एक्सेल शीट तो नजर आ रही है, बट जब आप डेटा पे क्लिक करते हैं तो वो विंडो नजर नहीं आ रही.
Is it visible now? You just need to wait for a little time. Is it visible now?
No, sir.
That is a very bad news for me. I do not know how we're going to teach those statistical tools if it is not visible. I will share it again. Can you see the Microsoft Excel windows on your screen? Is it visible? Gentlemen, is it visible?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you see the data analysis small window on your screen? That
No,
has a
sir.
title. Just wait
No,
for
sir.
1 minute.
ऑप्शन शो हो रहा है अब डेटा
Is
एनालिसिस का.
it visible? That is right in the center. Is it visible now? And you have random number
No,
generation.
sir.
सर जब आप डेटा पे
No,
क्लिक
sir.
करते हैं तो विंडो जो ओपन होती है वो हमें नजर नहीं आ रही यहाँ पे.
Okay, in that window, you will have an option of random number generation. Is it visible now?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, leave it. So for example, if I have like this, I have a number of random number generations, like let's suppose if I decide 30, and then I will going to say it's a discrete, it's a uniform, so I can just generate uniform random numbers, and I can generate between 1 to 50. So I give a range of 50, and I just click OK. Now you can see there are certain numbers that are visible. Are they visible on your screen? A is being filled with some numbers, some random numbers.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. In this way, this is in the data analysis. There is an option there where you can generate the random numbers. So that tells us that you have to select roll number 46, 35, 18, 16, 33, 20, 28. You just need to ignore all these dots. 23. In this way, you can select a sample size of 30 from 50 people. So you can select any sample size through random number generation. Just give the range and everything will be okay once you have the IDs. So previously, now I'm going to switch to, I cannot actually work with random numbers because that slide does not appearing on screen. So I cannot do so many things. So accept my apologies for this. So is it visible on your screen now, the sampling, types of sampling? So now I switch back to my original PowerPoint presentation because Microsoft Excel is not working with further windows. Is it visible on your screen?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So the conventional style was to go on with the either fishbowl or lottery draw, and then you have the computer program. Secondly, you have random number tables. You can just use those random number tables, and an example of this random number table, that first is 110 and then to 24, and these are our random numbers. In this way, you can ensure the randomization, and that gives an equal chance to each and every one. So this is simple random sampling. Is it clear? Do you have any question regarding the simple random sampling?
No, sir.
So the second type of although it's a random sampling, and we name it as the stratified sampling, stratified random sampling. So these are simple random sampling, and then gives a number to all of your sample, and then decide sample and decide your sample fishbowl or table random number and computer draws, and you
Sir?
can just. Yes.
Sir, what is random number table?
They are generally tables available for the probability and statistics, and they have a title like this: table of random units. So just generated random numbers and they just print it on a screen. So for example,
okay.
this is a table of 14,000 random units. They are being initially generated on computers, and then they just spread it in the form of tables. So you can purchase any random number table and then you decide, okay, these are my units. If your numbers, they correspond to these observations. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So one is the simple random sampling. That means you just have the data of all the elements, you just put them in a table, or you just use computers, or you just use the table of random numbers, and then you drag or sample whatever you want. Second is that sometimes your population is not homogeneous. And I will give you an example that in a population you have male and female. One character is the gender. Even the age is another thing. Income status is another thing. So very rarely the entire population is homogeneous. Do you agree with that? If you look at the population, your population is not homogeneous. It's possible when you are collecting a data regarding the water quality that they are more or less same, and then when you go with the wildlife animals, possible, but when with few cases it's possible that your population can be homogeneous, but most of the time if you consider a large population, it's not homogeneous. Rather, they have variations and there are certain logical characters to them. For example, the gender is different, the age is different, and the income status is different. Regarding the income status, you have the lower class, you have the middle class, and you have an upper class. Age, you have children, you have the adolescent, and then you have adults. Gender, male and female. In that case, what you want in your sample, that you want the representative of both male and female from the population. Do you agree with that?
Yes, sir, I agree.
For example, if the population is like, let's suppose if I'm going to look at the population of my country, it's more or less, you have the 48% male and the 52% female in your population. And that's the proportion in the population. So in your sample, what you just look for, that as you know that your population is not homogeneous, there are male individuals as well as the female individuals. So what you really want in your sample, that you want to include both male and female with the same proportions. That's more desirable. That you want 48% of your sample to be male and the 52% of your sample to be female. In this way, you have stratified the random. Stratification is nothing else, is strata mean groups. You have created a group in the population on the basis of any logical character. It can be gender, it can be age, it can be income status, it can be anything else. Maybe another logical character to be mean where they are. Are they are in urban population or in rural population? So you have stratified. Stratification is nothing else. You grouped them. You grouped them because you want everyone to be represented in your sample. For example, you do not want, you want an equal contribution of both male and female according to their proportions in the population. For example, if my population has 48% male and 52% females, so in my sample, what I will look for, that I will going to keep the same proportions. In my sample, I will going to take 48% male and 52% female. So in order to do this, first I need to split them into the groups. Either it's gender, either it's age, either it's income status. And from that group, for example, if I have a sample size of 300, from the sample size of 300, what I will going to do, I will going to split them into two groups. One is the male and other one is the female. I know male, they are 48%. So if I am going to consider the 48% male, in my sample size, there will be 144 samples of male and 1 56 samples of female. So I will going to decide that I will going to take 144 male samples from male subjects and I will going to take 156 samples from female subjects. So that's a stratification, that is a grouping. It's not simple random sampling. Rather, you just first group them to make it homogeneous, to make it look like similar, and from each group now you can just take a random sample. So you, in that case, either you are using a fishbowl, either you are using a computer program, either you are using a random number table. You have to keep the male subject separate from female subject, and from male subject just randomly select 144 subjects, and from female you just select randomly 156. And how it works, and that is known as the proportional random sampling, and that's desirable. That your population was heterogeneous and you make it homogeneous by stratifying it, and then you give proportions to each and every group. And sometimes people, they do not bother about it, so they stratify into the male and female, and then they do not care how much male, so they just make it like 50-50%, like 150 male and 150 female. That is non-proportional. So they select an equal size sample from each category, from 150 from male, without considering their contribution in the population. Is it clear? Do you have any question? Just feel free and ask. You have 2 minutes to ask this question. Just feel free. Is it clear? Just feel comfortable and ask if you have any question.
Yes, sir.
So we have the stratified random sampling, and stratified mean when we group them on the basis of any character. But still the sampling is random, but we just first group them, split them into groups and keep them separate, and within the group we ensure the randomization. We carry out the stratified random sampling because population sometimes is not homogeneous, but rather majority of the time is not homogeneous. And within the stratification, we can either go with proportional stratified random sampling, or we do not care about the proportions and just we select equal number of samples from each group, irrespective of sample size. Do you have any question regarding this? And this is what I wanted to say. Equal number of samples from each group. And then if your population is very, very large, then we have another probability or random sampling technique. We name it as the cluster sampling. If you switch back to your original slide. So as far as the random sampling is concerned, you have a simple random sampling, you have a stratified random sampling. Stratified random sampling can be proportional net and it can be non-proportionate. And then we have cluster sampling. When your population size is huge, that includes the provinces, that includes cities and country,
Sir,
even.
Excuse me, sir. Slide visible
Yes.
नहीं है, sir.
Is it visible? Not visible to you, or is it no one can see?
Okay, sir. अब आ गई.
अब आ रही है.
It was not visible previously. Selection of random samples, sampling without replacement, sampling with replacement, type of random samples, simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, proportional and non-proportional. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
सर प्रोफेशनल और नॉन प्रोफेशनल को रिपीट कर दें एक दफ़ा, क्योंकि स्लाइड शो नहीं हो रही थी तो समझ नहीं आई इस तरह.
Okay, please update me at any time when you cannot see the slide. A blank slide is visible on your screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, for in my country, let's suppose if I have a population where I have, and the population is not homogeneous, like male and female. Even you can consider it with reference to the income status. You have lower class and you have middle class and you have upper class. So let's suppose 80% of your population is lower class. Maybe 15% of your population or 16% of your population, I do not have the exact data, I'm just using these random. They will be close to my country, I think so. 15% they are middle class and only 4% they are upper class. So let's suppose if I will going to decide, I will going to first stratify this. I want subjects from lower class. I also want representatives from middle class, and I want to representative from upper class. So first, I will going to make all these stratum, these groups, lower class, middle class, and upper class. So once I have grouped them, now I have two options. That either to include them according to their proportions. Can you see the writing?
Yes, sir.
So let's suppose if I will going to decide a sample size of 300, I have split them into three groups. So I have two options. If I will going to continue with the proportionate, in that case, from the 300, I will go give weightage to the everyone. So from the lower class, I will going to collect a sample 80 multiplied by 3 because 3 is 300, if 80, so it will be like 0 and 240. So my 240 samples will be from the lower class. And then I have 16 into 3, that will be 48. My 48 samples will be from middle class. And 4 into 3, my 12 samples will be from the upper class. So I will going to put them either in using computer program, either using random number tables, or either using fishbowl technique. What I will going to do, that I will going to place the subjects of upper class in a separate bowl. I will going to place the subjects of middle class in a separate bowl, and I will going to place them in a separate bowl. So I will going to select 80 random, 240 random samples from lower class. Then I will going to select 48 random samples from middle class. And then I will going to select 12 random samples from upper class. So that's the proportional. And maybe some people, they do not go with proportionate, rather they go non-proportionate. What do you mean by the non-proportionate? That if they have a sample size of 300, they will going to select 100 samples from lower class, 100 samples from middle class, and 100 samples from upper class. Equal number of samples from each group, without considering their proportion or their contribution in the population. Do you have any question? Just feel comfortable and ask. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
So this is all what we have completed so far. Is it visible on your screen? A table.
Yes, sir.
Or it's a flow chart, more appropriate. So we have completed simple random sampling and we have completed stratified random sampling that includes the proportionate and non-proportionate. Now we're going to discuss about the cluster samples. Is this slide visible?
Yes, sir.
That has all that writing, selection of random samples with the title of selection. So if population is very
Yes,
large,
sir.
that includes the provinces, cities, and even in country. So you cannot number each and every unit. In case of cluster sampling, it's very difficult that you have approach to each and every unit, because even sometimes you do not know what's the population of that area. In that case, how you can put them in a bowl, because now it's about the entire population, and even before carrying out sampling, you do not have access to each and every subject, and you do not know the subject, so you cannot number them exactly. So what's the possibility? That in that case, for example, if this is a map of an area, this is the area you want to cover. So what you do here, that you do not have approach to each and every subject, and you already do not know about them, how many are there. So what you normally do, that you just split your study area into different clusters. So these are all clusters I have meant. For example, I can just go with all those rectangles. I can just draw the rectangles. I will going to draw these imaginary lines, and I will going to create those rectangles, and each and every one will be my cluster. And within that cluster, I will going to decide that much samples, random samples, I will going to take. For example, if here in this case I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for example, if I have 20 clusters, I will going to take, let's suppose, 50 samples from each sample. So that's it. So first the cluster must be selected, and then you can select samples from that cluster. And that concludes my discussion on cluster sampling. It can be within the single cluster or it can be double. But in that case, normally it's a very large identity. You do not have access to each and every one. So you just decide a cluster and then make all those imaginary lines, and then you can go on with single or double cluster. And that concludes my discussion on probability sampling or random sampling, where you can generalize your results. After taking the sample, you can generalize your results to the population. Is it clear? Do you have any question regarding this? Just feel comfortable and ask.
सर जब किसी भी स्टडी एरिया को अगर हम जोन के अंदर डिवाइड करते हैं तो
Yes.
उसी को हम क्लस्टर ही कहेंगे.
Yes, you can divide it into a zone. Each zone will be a cluster.
ओके सर.
No, even if you just select some different villages, each village will be a cluster. Is it clear? And now we're going to move to the non-random sampling techniques. Do you need a break?
Yes, sir. क्लास बहुत लंबी हो गई है आज.
We'll have a break of maybe 20 minutes, and then we're going to continue again.
सर मैक्सिमम कितना टाइम और आप क्लास लेंगे?
Maybe a couple of hours more.
सर बेशक कंटिन्यू रखें, क्योंकि हमारी लाइट चली जाएगी तो क्लास मिस हो जाती है डेली आपकी.
My system got hanged. It's not responding to any of my calls. So you have to wait. I'm just trying to do something with this. My lecture is being recorded here, so I was going to stop my recording. Someone is telling me